Let's turn to matters here in the UK. A teenager who murdered 3 members of his family and also planned to carry out one of the biggest massacres, one of the biggest school shootings in UK history, has been sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 49 years. 19-year-old Giselle Prosper killed his mother, Juliana Falcon, his brother Kyle and his sister Giselle at their home in Luton in September last year. Our correspondent Joe Black has more, and a warning: this report does contain some distressing detail.
You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned.
Giselle Prosper wanted to be the most notorious school shooter in the UK. But this is the moment that plan is disrupted.
Birmingham Road, I think we've got the offender.
At this point, he's already murdered his family, and these officers at the end of a night shift happen to see him on the street. Their instinct tells them something's not right. They see blood on his face, and a shotgun and cartridges are found nearby.
Sorry, I'm a bit riled. Upstairs, just gone up to knock on the door, sorry. And I heard a massive bang, sounded like a gunshot.
Prosper, seen here leaving the flat where he lives, has just used that shotgun to shoot his mother, Juliana Falcon, his 13-year-old sister, Giselle, and his 16-year-old brother, Kyle. Kyle, who it is believed tried to stop his brother, was also stabbed more than 100 times. Prosper then heads in the direction of his former primary school. One of the officers, who wishes to remain anonymous for operational reasons, says he now realises just how significant that arrest was.
It was very overwhelming. It was me and my crewmate that managed to prevent this from happening. People may think it's a bit of luck. At the end of the day, I'm sure my team, they would have had the exact same instincts.
Sadly, he was targeting early years, so potentially 4-year-old children, where he intended to shoot children as well as teachers before finishing with himself.
Prosper's internet browsing took him to dark areas of the web. He researched crimes with mass casualties and school massacres such as Columbine and Sandy Hook. But in reality, he was plotting. Seen here with a plank of wood, he mimics using a shotgun. But months later, he bought the real thing. He created a fake firearms licence and duped a legitimate gun holder into selling him a shotgun. The asking price was £450. Prosper paid £600. In the lift to his family flat, he stands next to a delivery man, casually carrying the deadly weapon. And to practice handling the gun, he used a teddy bear.
For those living near the Prospers, there is still disbelief at what happened here. It has troubled many neighbours who say life here will never be the same again.
Even that day when it was happening and I was hearing everything, even the slightest part of me did not think a son is killing his mother, a brother is killing his sibling. I don't know what to say.
Prosper was a loner, intent on causing harm to many. A teenager who has shown no remorse for ruthlessly killing 3 members of his own family.
Joe Black, it defies words, doesn't it? Let's speak to our colleague Martine Croxall, who's outside Luton Crown Court. And it's worth underlining, Martine, that this was a credible plan. He had the right number of cartridges, he'd cased the school, he knew exactly what he was going to do.
Yes, and over the course of the last couple of days, Christian, this court here in Luton has heard a lot of the detail about how he had spent more than a year planning these offences. And it was really thanks to a phone call by a neighbour in the block of flats who heard what sounded like a gunshot and a lot of noise disturbance when Giselle Prosper had killed his mother, brother and sister, that alerted the police. And then 2 hours later, after they had died, 2 officers who were just finishing their night shift saw him walking along the road here in Luton, saw him put his hand up in the air in a strange way and stopped him and arrested him, and later discovered that he had planned to go to St Joseph's Catholic Primary School to carry out that shooting because he wanted to achieve global notoriety. And thankfully, they stopped that happening. They also found the shotgun and those cartridges in a bush in a bag nearby. And the judge here, Mrs. Justice Cheema-Grubb, as part of her sentencing remarks, said it's the deaths of Juliana, Kyle and Giselle that have saved the lives of many children, and the community here owes them a debt of gratitude. But the judge was quite clear that the plan he had put together was cogent, calculating and selfish. And in sentencing him to 49 years, she also said that he remains so dangerous and may never actually be released. After the hearing ended here at Luton Crown Court, we heard from the senior investigating officer from the Major Crime Unit here, DCI Sam Karner, who talked about the seriousness of Prosper's crimes.
In my entire policing career, which has included many years spent on the major crime team, I've never encountered anyone capable of such horrific acts while showing no remorse. And I'm pleased that this truly evil individual will serve a significant proportion of his life behind bars.
Well, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Bedfordshire, John Tizard, has now written to the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, to request an urgent review of firearms licensing following the ease with which Nicholas Prosper managed to buy this shotgun with which he killed his mother and two siblings using a fake gun licence certificate. Mr Tizard has said to Yvette Cooper that there should be a review of legislation, and he's suggested a change to the current law which would give vendors 7 days to notify police of any sale or exchange so checks could be carried out.
Martine, thank you very much for that. Plenty more detail on the BBC website with reaction to that sentencing earlier today.